Ladies and gentlemen, I have a couple of individuals who are listed as Motorola or don't have their full name on the calendar. Please put your first and last names on the calendar so it'll be easier to go through them. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. This is the State Court of Clayton County. This morning, this is the arraignment calendar for July 25th of 2024. On the 10 a.m. calendar, courtroom 304, I'm going to call the calendar, but first I'm going to give you some information. So let me first identify who's here. There's a gentleman with locks in a yellow shirt and a beard. You have Motorola Moto G. What's your full name, sir? First and last name? You have to unmute for me.
Okay, Your Honor, can you hear me?
I hear you. What's your name, sir?
Yes, ma'am. My name is, please be quiet, baby. My name is Benjamin Bullock.
CH or CK?
Bullock.
All right, and I have one more person who has a Motorola Moto G Pure. Please tell me your name, unmute for me. And then there's
Dontavious,
Go ahead, Antavius.
Dontavious Sanders.
Okay. All right. Dontavius.
Dontavius.
Okay. Sanders.
Yes.
All right. All right, and then there's a Willie W. Mr. Willie W. What's your last name, sir? All right. You may be having technical difficulties. And this time I'm going to call the calendar. The first thing I need to do is give you some information. So this is an arraignment calendar. Essentially, that means that this is the first time your case may have appeared before the trial court. You may have been a magistrate court before, but this is the first time that you'll be before a court where we can have your case resolved by a plea, a trial, or some administrative procedure. So everyone is entitled to have an attorney represent them. If you do not have an attorney, but you need one and cannot afford one, or you're incarcerated, then the court can appoint one for you. Just let us know at the time that we call your name. If you are here and your case is before this court, I will expect to hear one of three pleas. You're either going to enter a plea of not guilty, guilty, or nolo, which means no contest. If you enter a plea of not guilty, you'll have a trial before a judge or before a judge and a jury at a later date. At trial, the state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You also have the right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States to not incriminate yourself, give any evidence or testimony against yourself. So essentially, you need to appear and be present for trial, but the state has the burden of proving the case against you. If you would like, with the assistance of an attorney or representing yourself, if you would like to present evidence and testimony on your behalf, you may do that. You may also question any witnesses brought by the state and challenge any arguments that the state may bring forth. But you're not required to do any of that. If you were convicted after a trial, the maximum penalty could be up to 12 months in jail, a $5,000 fine, or both. If you felt like the conviction was a mistake, then you have the right within 30 days to appeal the conviction to an appellate court, and they may make a different decision. If you wish to enter a plea of guilty or nolo, a guilty plea means that you believe you're guilty of the offenses before the court. Even if you don't agree with every part of the factual statement, you do believe you're guilty of the underlying offense and you would like to resolve that today. If you enter a plea of nolo, nolo means no contest, and it means that you understand the state has enough evidence that they feel if they presented it to a court, it might result in a conviction against you. You do not wish to contest that evidence, but you do wish to resolve the case without a plea of guilty. Now, a nolo plea could assist you in many ways, particularly in traffic offenses, because it could help you avoid points on your license. It could help you avoid suspension of your license in certain cases, but you have to be eligible to use a nolo plea. You can only do it once in every 5 years for the same or similar offense. And you also have to have it available for the particular offense. If it is a first offense of that category, the nolo may assist you. If it is a second or third, it may not. And we'll give you that information or discuss that with you when your name is called. With respect to the pleas today, please understand that if you're under 21 and your offense is a traffic offense, the nolo plea may not help you in the same way. And you also risk a suspension of your license for a hard 6 months if you accrue 6 points. So it takes fewer points to suspend your license. And the suspension will be longer, and a nolo may not assist you in the same way as it would someone who is 21 or over. So be mindful of that. Also, with a commercial driver's license, if you have a commercial driver's license and you make your living driving for trucks or vehicles, then you might want to be careful about entering any plea, nolo or guilty, because those may affect your ability to operate under your CDL. If you're unsure, you can always enter a plea of not guilty. And while you're preparing for trial, you can ask those questions and get that advice from someone who's knowledgeable. And when you come back, you can either go to trial or take a plea on that date. All right. So these are the rights that come with your appearance today in the arraignment calendar. When I call your name, I'm going to tell you what you're charged with. And then if you have an attorney, your attorney's going to speak on your behalf. If you do not, then we'll discuss whether you need one or you wish to represent yourself. Okay. All right. First name on the calendar is Lazarus Marquis Black, but that case has been on hold due to an attorney leave of absence. So Mr. Black's attorney is not here. We'll go ahead and resolve that case at a later time. The next case is Tanique Michelle Blake. Tanique Michelle Blake.
It requests bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Last call for Tanique Michelle Blake. Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Benjamin Sadat Bullock. Benjamin Sadat Bullock.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Bullock is represented by the law firm of Lister Holton Dennis. Ms. Hahn.
Your Honor, I need to speak with Mr. Bullock. We were playing phone tag yesterday. I didn't reach him.
All right, Mr. Bullock, at the appropriate time, I'll put you in a breakout room with your attorney. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes,
You can mute, put yourself back on mute, all right? But you'll hear me call your name. Devontae J. Kennedy. Devontae Kennedy.
Your Honor, it looks like he is logged on and he did respond to my chat. However, this appears to be a cross-fit situation with Ms. Tony Hall. So he may need to get a counsel appointed outside of Mr. Holton Dennis.
He has Ms. Hahn.
I think his cross-dependent.
Yes, Your Honor. I asked for the cases to be scheduled at the same time for.
Oh, okay. So, who's the cross fifth with?
Your Honor, it's with Miss Tony Hall. She's on the Zoom call as well, but Mr. Kennedy doesn't have counsel, as Ms. Andrews said, so he'll need to be appointed counsel. So we're asking that the cases be continued to the next calendar for the CrossFit. When he gets appointed.
Okay. No other attorneys in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor, just me and Mr. Taylor.
All right, Ms.
Hello?
Val? Yes?
I'm Devontae Kennedy. I was trying to unmute my phone. I don't
Okay,
have
sir.
an attorney.
All right, so, Mr. Kennedy, the court can appoint an attorney so with a cross fifth, essentially, what happens is the attorney will explain your rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution and ask you about your decision with respect to whether you would like to proceed in the case against Ms. Hall. Her attorney will do the same with her, and once you all make a decision, y'all will appear before the court to determine whether the cases are going to go forward or whether they'll be dismissed. So I can appoint an attorney to assist you with that if you do not have your own attorney.
I don't have my own attorney.
All right, can I see you, Mr. Kennedy? All right, Ms. Val, if we could appoint for a cross fifth and just be real specific that it's not going to be a long commitment.
Okay, you want to reset it until August 22nd?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
So,
We'll
Mr.
reset-
Go ahead, Ms. Val.
we'll reset it to August 22nd, and then he'll get a conflict attorney.
All right, so Mr. Kennedy, Ms. Hall, I'm resetting your case to August 22nd. We'll also appoint an attorney for Mr. Kennedy to discuss with him his options. And I just want to caution you, if you both have bond conditions that say you're not to have contact with a particular person or go to a particular location, please make sure you do not violate those bond conditions, because if you were to have contact with that person, your bond could be revoked. You could stay in jail until your case is resolved. You could be charged with additional felonies or misdemeanors, or all of those things could happen. So please make sure that you do not have any, not social media, not through a third party, not send a message through your mama, nothing of that, no contact with anyone that you have on your bond conditions. Mr. Kennedy, do you understand me?
Yeah.
All right, and Ms. Hahn, I'm sure you have explained that to Ms. Hall. All right, so we'll excuse you at this time. Mr. Kennedy, you'll be contacted by an attorney, but if they don't contact you immediately, don't worry. As soon as you get here on August 22nd, I'll give you the opportunity to speak with an attorney if you haven't already, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Tiffany Faye Gates. Tiffany Faye Gates. Lister Houghton Dennis.
Your Honor, we haven't had any contact with Ms. Gates.
All right, bench warrant bond forfeiture. Okay, so there's 3 bonds on this. One from Richard Allen Evans, one from Tiffany Gates, and one from Free at Last Bail Bonds.
Your
So
Honor,
at least they've been back on the calendar one other time in another bond, but somehow they're not updating their address and information.
Your Honor, so I believe that's the case. I'm looking at the last note in our file. It shows that Mr. White had closed the case out in April because we've had no contact.
Okay. All right, so bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Did you miss calling one, Judge Flores?
Oh, I did. Flores. All right. Will Ms. Flores need the assistance of an interpreter?
She speaks English, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Flores, come on up for me, please. Hi, Ms. Flores.
Hello.
So Ms. Flores, you're before the court for no license and break or turn signal violation. Did you wish to represent yourself, or did you wish to have an attorney appointed to represent you?
I represent myself.
Okay. Are you over 21 for me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good. All right, so, ma'am, I will allow you to speak with one of the solicitors in this case. They can tell the court, what they're, asking for, the charge of no license and brakes or turn signal. Ms. Andrews or Ms. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Flores, do you have a valid license now?
No, I actually have went to apply at the DMV for an ID, but I'm still waiting for the card to get in the mail. They said it would take up to 30 days, but I do not have an ID. I mean, not an ID, a driver license.
Okay. Do you think you can get those licenses within the next 30 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor,
Wait, let's be clear, not an ID, Ms. Flores, but a license.
No,
Are you
ma'am, I
gonna-
do not have no license at all.
Can you get one in 30 days?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, because it's the same process. If you're gonna go get an ID, you might as well get a license.
Yes, ma'am. True.
I mean, I don't understand why folk don't want to get a license and drive, be a licensed driver. Do you know how much it costs? The license, I believe my friend at the tax office told me is like $45. A,
Well,
a
where I,
no license offense is like $200.
right.
Am I right? Is it
it's
200?
500.
It's 500. I'm sorry. $737.50 with the surcharge.
Yes, ma'am.
So $45, $50, even $100 versus $737.50 with the surcharges.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how old are you, ma'am?
I am 23.
Okay, if you're gonna drive, you need a license. I don't know why we driving without one. We clear?
It's because when I was trying to apply, I didn't have no passport. I didn't have no.
So you had to get your information, birth certificate, passport, all of that before you could even apply.
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
So obviously you've gotten that because you've applied for your ID.
Yes, ma'am.
So now that you got that, go get your license. I'm gonna
Yes.
give you, we'll put you, can we put her on the August 22nd calendar, Ms. Val?
I am scheduled for a C-section next month. I did bring my paperwork for that one too.
Oh, Lord, Ms. Flores, you got a lot going on. Also, Ms. Flores, if you gonna have babies, how many, you have a baby already? Or this your first?
No, ma'am, I actually have one in sitting down.
Okay, so ma'am, you know, babies, you need transportation with kids. So
Yes.
you can't just be out here not driving with a license. Get a license and some insurance.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what we're doing now is I'm calling it the turn up 20s. We're turning into adults. We're doing mature things. We're thinking about the consequences of our actions before we do something silly. So I had like 3 25-year-olds on my calendar yesterday. You my first 20-something today. But let me just say, you're already a mama. What I'm telling you is you got to start thinking about what your life is going to look like in the next 5, 10, 15 years. But you also got to think about what your kids' life is going to look like. And you need to make decisions that are going to benefit you and your kids.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You're out of that age of I'm young and my parents are going to cover me. You're 23, you're a parent. So
Yes.
when it comes to driving, you know you need a license and you need insurance.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't have a license and you get picked up in one of those jurisdictions where they take you to jail, who takes care of your baby?
It's gonna have to be my husband.
I got that, but I mean, they need both of you.
Yes, ma'am, they do.
So you don't want that to happen. You want to keep, those are the simple things. Those are the things you can control. You can control not having to pay $737.50. You can control not having to get picked up on a warrant for missing court. You can control not having to go to jail on a ticket.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can control those things. So do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna have the C-section what date?
On August the 12th.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you're not gonna be ready to be back. Miss Val, do we have a date, I guess, for either before that? Well, she's gonna be pretty close. A date after that, maybe a month after that, where she can come in. And when you come in, don't bring that baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Too many germs in this courtroom. Don't bring that baby.
I won't.
Okay. All right, Miss Val. And we are continuing you to get a license, not an ID, a license.
Yes, ma'am.
September 5th, Judge, did you hear me?
Yes, September 5th. Thank you. All right, now, Miss Flores, you go have a healthy baby. You take care of that baby you already got, and you and your husband start making good common sense decisions. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Miss Bermudez. Miss Bermudez, can you sound and see if there's anybody who needs you? Okay, is there anyone on the call who may need the assistance of Miss Bermudez? Miss Bermudez, you can go ahead and sound for the video also.
¿Hay alguna persona en esta sesión que vaya a necesitar la asistencia del intérprete de español?
I think we're good. We also have an 11 o'clock and a 1 o'clock. If you see anybody on there that you think you might need to step in for, or otherwise we'll call you.
Yes, ma'am. I'll check.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day. All right, Terrence Jarrell Gerald.
Come on, sir. Come on here. He's in the courtroom, Your Honor.
All right, so Lister Holton Dennis. So I have that there was a PIA done for this case, or it was supposed to be done on November 17th of 2023.
Yes, Your Honor. So by the time we got the PIA, Mr. Gerald had gone, well, we were told that he had gone to a different facility, but he was actually released despite the fact that there should have been a hold. Nevertheless, we've worked out an agreement with Ms. Andrews now to resolve the case.
Okay, we ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gerald, raise your right hand for me, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. So Mr. Gerald is here on case 2021 CR 05888 for no license, driving on a suspended or revoked license, and improper lane change. What does your client plead to the offenses before the court, Ms. Hahn?
Your Honor, with guilty to count 3, believe state is going to no cross counts 1 and 2.
All right, by entering a plea of guilty to improper lane change, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And sir, if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On March 25th, 2021 in Clayton County, Georgia, an officer performing routine patrol on Terra Boulevard observed a vehicle, and when he was doing routine patrol, he ran the tag of the vehicle. The tag came back that the owner of the vehicle was wanted person for the registered owner. The officer got behind the vehicle, and as the officer got behind the vehicle made a double lane change without signaling and making sure it was safe to do so. The officer was eventually able to catch up with the vehicle and make a traffic stop and made contact with the driver identified as Mr. Terrence Gerald, who he did not have a valid driver's license, and he was also cited for improper lane change.
Right.
And the agreement is counts 1 and 2 will be null pros. Count 3 is a $100 fine suspended based on the amount of time that Mr. Gerald was in custody.
All right, Mr. Gerald, I'm going to accept your plea to count 3 of guilty, $100 fine suspended, credit for time served. Counts 1 and 2 will be null pros, and you're free to go at this time, Mr. Gerald. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Dejanay Imani Griggs. All right, Lister Holton Dennis. You're muted, Mr. Taylor.
Of course, I apologize, Your Honor. I just wanted to say that Ms. Griggs is present. And
All right.
we just need an opportunity to speak with the state regarding us and its recommendation.
Okay, Ms. Payne, Ms. Andrews, which of you is handling Ms. Griggs' case?
Myself, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And I'll put you in a breakout room with Attorney Andrews in a moment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, and Janelle Hall, that case has been continued based on the need for representation of the cross complainant. Sharome Irvin. Sharome Irvin. State
request bench warrant bond forfeiture.
All right. Dontavius Devontae Sanders. Mr. Sanders is present by video. Mr. Sanders,
Yes, ma'am.
you're before the court for failure to yield the right of way and expired or no decal. Sir, did you wish to have someone represent you, or can you represent yourself in this case?
I'll be representing myself.
Are you over 21?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good. All right, so what is the recommendation for Mr. Sanders?
Yes, Your Honor, the recommendation for Mr. Sanders would be for count one, it would just be a $100 fine, and he is NOLO eligible. And for count two, the state would be offering to dismiss.
All right, Mr. Sanders, $100 fine with the surcharges would be a total of $151.50. And I could give you up to 60 days to pay that. I just generally, because you're not at the courthouse, I give you 30 days anyway, but I can give you up to 60 days. May I see you, please, sir? You said he's NOLO eligible?
Yes, Your Honor, he is.
All right, so Mr. Sanders, can I see your video?
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Sanders, if you wish to use your NOLO plea would keep you from getting any points on your license. If you're not worried about points or you wish to hold your NOLO, you can enter a plea of guilty. If you were to do that, the fine will be $100, $151.50, and the state is willing to dismiss or no pros the second charge.
I'll take the NOLO.
All right, so raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. You could, by entering a plea of NOLO to count one, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have a presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Factual basis, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On about July 25th of 2020, the defendant did drive into the scene of a serious accident where Officer Peterson was directing traffic, and the defendant was not involved in the accident, and failed to move over for Officer Peterson's vehicle that was lighted and with sirens directing traffic around the accident. And all this occurred in Clayton County.
All right. So, Mr. Sanders, I'm going to accept. Mr. Sanders, where you keep going?
Oh, I didn't know.
First of all, you wouldn't have to keep taking your video down if you had clothes on. Put a shirt on. Get out of the bed, sir. Wash your face, wipe the sleep from your eyes. Come on, it's already 10:42 in the morning. If you haven't gotten up and attacked the day, you have missed the whole day.
Yeah.
They out there handing out jobs and money, but that stops by 11.
I apologize.
I mean, goodness gracious. Y'all already have the benefit of not having to get up, slug into the courthouse from wherever you are, fight traffic, but y'all just take it to the limit. Oh, we just gonna do court from bed today. If I can't do court from bed, nobody else gets to do court from bed.
I mean, this is my first time doing this.
I'm clear, but I mean, sir, let's show a little respect to the court.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
so your interim plea is nolo. The fine is $100. Do you need 30 days to pay, or do you need up to 60 days?
I only need 30 days.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is, do you know how to use the chat function for Zoom?
Well, yeah, I guess I see it.
Okay, click on it. When you see that name in blue should say everyone. You see that?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Click on that and you should see a pull down menu, and on the pull down menu, you'll see Amanda Wright, R-Y-T-E. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Click on Amanda Wright. All right,
on-
what I need you to do is in that box, type in your email address. Make sure you check it twice. You're sending Ms. Wright your email address so she can send you back your sentencing sheet to give you the information about how to pay online, by phone, or to come into the second floor of the Harold E. Banky Justice Center.
I sent it.
All right, Mr. Sanders, that concludes your business here today. You have 30 days in which to pay the $151.50. Do not miss your deadline, because if you do, an arrest warrant might issue for failure to complete a suspended sentence, okay?
Okay.
All right, sir, be safe, and please make sure you're careful when you see move over, when you see somebody on the side of the road. The last thing you want is somebody to step out trying to repair a vehicle or in an emergency situation and they get hit, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Joseph Dumas Shaddix. Joseph Dumas Shaddix.
I believe, Brad Moody filed a waiver on July 9th.
Okay. Instead of just coming and working it out. Okay. All right, so Shaddix is a waiver. Nakia Therese Stevens. Nakia Therese Stevens. Last call for Nakia.
She's in the courtroom, Judge.
Okay, there she is. All right, Miss Stevens, unmute for her, please. All right, Miss Stevens, you're before the court on 2021 CR 04105, Nakia Therese Stevens, for suspended registration and no tag, expired or invalid tag. Ma'am, did you wish to have an attorney represent you, or did you wish to represent yourself?
I have to represent myself. Good morning.
All right, speak up a little bit for me.
I have to represent myself. Good morning.
Good morning. Are you over 21, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the state's recommendation for Ms. Stevens.
Ms. Stevens, do you have a valid tag and valid insurance now?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Do you have that proof on you, ma'am?
No, I do not, but I didn't know I had to bring it. I didn't know anything. I didn't know I had to bring anything. Sorry.
Ma'am, it's
well,
court. If you want to get a traffic offense or like a document offense taken care of, then you bring your documents.
It was unexpected. It's so long. It was before COVID. I had no idea of any of this. I didn't know what to do, where to go.
Okay, it's okay. All right, let me ask you a couple questions, okay? In your car, a lot of times when we put our decal on our car, we throw the registration thing in the glove box. Did you do that?
I still have it, yes.
And you think it's in your car now?
It should be.
Okay, well then breathe, take a few minutes, go out to your car, get it, and it could save you a lot of money.
Okay.
All right, so when you come back in, let us know you're here, and then they'll bring you back up, okay? All right, deep breath. See how easy that was?
Yes.
Okay, just go check your card. Because that's what I did with mine. I just threw it in the glove compartment after I put my little decal on. Also, if you want, take a picture of your decal.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Oh, Miss Stevens, if you, yours, you also have a no insurance. So get your current insurance, like, if you got to call the company and tell them to send you a card, or or if you have it electronically or by paper, bring that in too.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Willie Jerome Wynn. Willie Jerome Wynn. Mr. Wynn is on video. Mr. Wynn, you are before the court for DUI, DUI less safe, speeding, seatbelt violation, and license not on person. Mr. Wynn, can you unmute and show me video, please, so we can have a conversation about your cases? So I know Mr. Wynn can hear me because he changed his name on the screen when I asked, but Mr. Wynn, I need you to unmute. If you touch your computer screen, if you touch the place where it says your name, a blue box with 3 dots should come up, and you click on that 3 dots, it could help you unmute, start video. Okay. Or if you look at the bottom of your screen and you see something that looks like an old-fashioned video, I see your hand waved, but there's only so many ways I can help you if I can't talk to you. So what I'm saying to you is, if you click on the screen where you see your name, you should have a box that pops up with a blue box with 3 dots in it. Click on that, and it should allow you to unmute, start your video. All right. So, Mr. Taylor, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with Miss Andrews. You all have a case to discuss. Okay, there you are, Mr. Wynn. We're halfway there. I just need you to now unmute for me.
Hi, Your Honor.
Yes.
Andrews came down to the courthouse and we've already discussed, so we're ready to proceed.
Look at you, Mr. Taylor. Thank you. Mr. Wynn, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Wynn, you're gonna make me dizzy. You gotta get somewhere in Brazil for a minute. Because the ceiling moving and you moving is give me a little vertigo. All right, so Mr. Wynn, you have pretty serious charges: DUI, DUI less safe, speeding, seatbelt violation, and license not on person. Do you currently have an attorney to represent you?
No, man. You called out 2 DUIs?
Yes, sir. So what happens is you have DUI per se, which is you may have tested through some procedure at a 0.08 or greater than a 0.08. I'm sorry. And then the other one is DUI less safe, where from the observations of witnesses and the officers, it appeared that you were impaired and unable to operate your vehicle with precision and care necessary due to being impaired with alcohol.
No, ma'am.
So one is based on a test, and the other is based on observation. And please don't tell me too much, because you want to make sure that you don't say anything that might affect your ability to have a defense in this case. Now, have you identified an attorney to assist you?
I need one.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you working, sir?
I work for myself.
What you do?
I'm a merchandise merchant.
You're who?
A merchant.
Oh, you have a store.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because part of giving you an attorney generally determines whether you can afford one. Is there anyone that you wish to hire, or do you wish the court to appoint one for you?
I mean, you can appoint one.
Okay. What kind of merchandise do you sell?
I don't sell nothing, ma'am. I just put stuff on the shelf.
For who?
Excuse me?
Who do you put stuff on the shelf for?
It depends on what store I'm in, ma'am.
Oh, okay, I get it. All right, so I can appoint the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis to assist you. And they will speak with you, but what I need you to do is provide them all of your information. Do you know how to use the chat function?
No, ma'am. I don't have a social media, and I'm 47, man. I don't do privilege.
Do you have email?
No, ma'am. I'm gonna have to get one, I see.
Oh, Lord. So you gotta, obviously you have a phone because you're on your phone right now, right?
I'm on a tablet.
Do you have a phone?
Yeah, I have a phone, but I'm on a tablet right now.
Okay, good. All right. So this is what Mr. Taylor. Can you from the courtroom send Mr. Nguyen a chat and request his phone number and address?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll do that.
Thank you, because I want him to see how it pops up so he can respond to it. So, Mr. Nguyen, you should see a box with a red number in it. You see that?
I sure do not, Your Honor.
Okay, when you see it, let me know.
It should pop up for him now, Your Honor.
Okay. You see it, Mr. Nguyen?
No, ma'am.
You don't see anything in the chat function?
I don't see none but my hand. Let's see, hold on. Type your phone here. Okay.
See it?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. So click on that box and you're gonna send Mr. Taylor your information, your phone, your address, any way that they can reach you. If somebody else's email you have access to, send them that also. All right, Mr. Taylor, let me know when you have the information.
I will, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, when Mr. Nguyen, have you sent the information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I just
I
received.
do have email. My wife sent me a one. I'm sorry.
You're gonna, okay, your wife set up one for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Taylor or Ms. Hahn, one of them will talk to you by phone, Mr. Nguyen, about your case and get your information, and so that they can possibly make help you make a plea today. And so I'm going to ask you to mute your device. Okay, and then when Mr. Taylor is ready on your case, he's going to let us know, okay? But just be aware that he may call you in the next few minutes, or Ms. Hahn may call you in the next few minutes. If you don't recognize the number, answer it, because their number may not show up, okay? Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so Ms. Hahn, are you prepared on Bullock, or did you need something else?
Your Honor, breakout room for Mr. Bullock. I think he's just unable to answer since he's on the Zoom call.
Okay, got you. I'm doing that right now, and then I'll talk to Mr. Taylor about the case that he just resolved.
Thank you.
So Mr. Bullock and Ms. Hahn are going to be in breakout room number 3. Oh, wait, if Ms. Hahn goes into a breakout room, I'm not going to be able to talk to Mr. Taylor, but it's the sacrifice you make. All right, so courtroom is going into a breakout room number 3 with Mr. Bullock, and when they return, we'll be able to move forward.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are coming in for the 11 o'clock calendar, we're just finishing up some stuff from the 10 o'clock calendar. Please don't panic, but I do need you to make sure that your first and last name are on the screen. So I see some Samsung SMA or SMG. If your phone designation is on the screen instead of your first and last name, this is what I need you to do. Touch the screen or move your cursor next to where your name or your phone appears. And when you do that, click on your name, your phone designation, and there should be a box with 3 dots, a blue box with 3 dots that comes up. Click on that, and at the bottom of the list, it should be rename. Click on rename, and please put your first and last name in the box and hit save, because we need to know who's here. And if I have 2 of the same type of phones, I won't know how to move you around if I got to put you in a breakout room or anything else. So please make sure. L. Perry, you have 2 sign-ons, but neither of them have your first name on here. I need your first and last name, full first and last name. And you only need 1 sign-on. So whichever one of those you don't need, get rid of it, because it's going to cause feedback. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, just mute your devices so that we don't hear anything in your background until we are ready to move forward with your case.
Judge, when you have a second, I have an updated announcement on Nakia Stevens' case.
I'm ready on that announcement.
Commissioner, I met with her in the courtroom and she did provide for me the proof of valid insurance and a valid tag on her new vehicles now. So the state's moving to dismiss both of those cases.
Thank you so much. Ms. Stevens, thank you so much. Have a great day. Thanks, Ms. Payne.
Your Honor, I also have announcements on Bullock and Ms. Gates appeared in the courtroom as well. She was in the wrong courtroom, but she is here today.
Miss who?
Gates, Tiffany Gates.
Okay, what's going on with Gates?
Your Honor, I believe the state was gonna no process, so I was waiting for Ms. Andrews, but
That is correct, Your Honor. I have submitted a null pros. Ms. Arnold should be in that shortly.
All right, thank you. So Ms. Gates, your case is being no pros, ma'am. You're free to go at this time. Just please be safe. And Ms. Stevens, your cases were no pros. Thank you. Please be safe. And you have Bullock.
yes, Your Honor. So after speaking with Mr. Bullock, we're gonna plead not guilty today. And just to give us some time to further negotiate with the state, but it's gonna be a not guilty.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Bullock, you're free to go at this time. Just please make sure that you keep in touch with your attorneys, that you do not, if you change anything about your contact information, please make sure they know that immediately.
Your Honor, I think he's stuck in the breakout room. I just realized I can let him know if that's
Okay. Yeah, text him or let him know and let him know that he's free to go and that he doesn't have to come back here.
Thank you. And then
All right, Mr. on Griggs. Oh.
Your Honor, may we proceed with Ms. Briggs?
I'm sorry, Ms. Who?
Briggs?
All right, Ms. Griggs, she's in the courtroom, I take it.
She is, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Williams, I'm gonna need you to mute, ma'am, so we can continue in the courtroom. I'll go ahead and when I call the 11 o'clock calendar, we'll get to your cases, but if you're not being spoken to right now, just make sure you mute, okay? All right, so Mr. Taylor I can't see Ms. Griggs.
This time. Here's Ms. Griggs, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Griggs, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Mr. Taylor is representing you. You're before the court on 2023 CR 08498 for Dejanay Imani Griggs for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, and following too close. Mr. Taylor, what did your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, my client's pleading NOLO to driving with suspended license and following too close. NOLO to
All
both.
right.
Count 2 will be no cross.
By entering a plea of NOLO to counts 1 and 3, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, Ms. Griggs? All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On May 21st, 2021, an officer responded to a 2-vehicle accident on Terra Boulevard near Battle Creek Road, located in Clayton County. Upon arriving to the incident location, the officer made contact with both parties. One of the drivers, Ms. Dejanay Griggs, had rear-ended another vehicle. Upon the officer running her information through the GCIC, it came back that she was an unlicensed driver, and she did not have, and she also was cited for following too close. And the victim is not seeking any restitution. Count 1 is null pros. Count 2 is a $500 fine suspended. Count 3 is a $100 fine.
All right. So, Ms. Griggs, the state is going to null pros count 1. Count 2 is a $500 fine, suspended. Count 3 is a $100 fine. The $100 fine will be $151.50 with the surcharges. Did you wish to pay that today or have additional time?
Additional time?
All right, I can give you up to 60 days to pay. You'll come back to this building on the 2nd floor and pay at the window. If you wish to pay online or by phone, you can ask about that when you go get your paperwork from the 2nd floor. So when you leave the courtroom, you're going to go downstairs 1 floor, take a left as you're coming back into the double doors for the hallway, go to your left and you'll see the traffic court window. Go there and they'll give you your paperwork. So you're going to go downstairs 1 floor. When you come back through into the hallway from the elevators, go to your left. You get your paperwork. They're going to explain if you ask them about how to pay online or by phone. Just remember that if you're going to do online or by phone payments, you need to have the full amount when you make it and close out the account, okay? And then once again, it's going to be $151.50, and you need to have it paid on or before the 60th day, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am, and be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. And the last case is Mr. Nguyen. Mr. Taylor, were you able to speak with Mr. Nguyen? Or Ms. Hahn, one of you?
Your Honor, can me and Mr. Taylor just have a few more seconds on that case?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I understand the nature of the charges. If y'all are going to eventually enter a plea of not guilty anyway, y'all go ahead and do that now, and then y'all have however long you need to speak with him.
Well, Your Honor, we do need, the state made an offer on the case, and we do need to relay that offer to.
Okay, all right.
Prior to entering a plea.
All right, so we'll hold on a minute for y'all to do that. Can one of y'all step outside and speak to him by phone? And then that way I can do the announcements or the introduction and announcements for the 11 o'clock.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, so for those of you who are here for the 11 o'clock calendar, this is the arraignment calendar. And so that essentially means that you may have had a previous court hearing in magistrate court, but this is probably the first time that your case has been heard before the state court, where it can be, this is a trial court where the case can be resolved by a plea, a trial, or some administrative procedure. Everyone is entitled to have an attorney to represent you. And if you cannot afford an attorney, or if you're incarcerated, the court can appoint an attorney to assist you. If you are here, then I expect that at some point today, I'm going to hear one of three pleas: not guilty, guilty, or nolo. A not guilty plea, you're seeking to have a trial before a judge or before a judge and a jury. But for that, all you really need to know is that you need to be here for the trial, because the state has the burden to prove the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You also have a right against self-incrimination under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, which means that you do not have to testify. You do not have to provide any evidence or testimony on your behalf. And the state has to prove the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, if you wish to represent yourself, I just caution you with representing yourself at trial that the judge that you're before cannot treat you any differently than if you went to law school and know all the rules of procedure and evidence. So I can explain to you procedure, what's going to happen next, but I cannot tell you how to make a decision, how to get evidence into the record of the court, and you may be at a disadvantage if you wish to do that. Also, if you are at trial and you and your attorney wish to enter evidence and testimony, you can do so. That's not a problem, but you don't have to. If you were convicted, the maximum penalty could be up to 12 months in jail, a $5,000 fine, or both per offense. But if you believe that if the conviction was a mistake, then you could appeal it to an appellate court, and the appellate court may make a different decision. I'm not promising you they will, but they could. All right, so those are the rights that come with having a trial. Like I said, the trial will take place at a later date, and you'll have plenty of time to prepare. If you wish to enter a plea of guilty, it means that you believe you're guilty of the offenses before the court. And even if there are some discrepancies with how the factual statement is reported, you do believe that you have committed the offense. If you enter a plea of nolo, nolo means that you're not contesting it, that you do not contest the evidence that the state has. The state could enter that evidence into a trial against you, and a conviction might result. You wish to resolve your case, but you do not wish to enter a plea of guilty, and you're not contesting the evidence presented by the state. A nolo plea has some benefits for you. It could allow you, if it's a traffic offense, to avoid penalties like points on your license or a suspension of your license. A nolo plea can only be used once every 5 years for the same or similar offense. If you're nolo eligible, and we can figure that out, we'll tell you. Also, a nolo plea, if you've had the same offense more than once, it may not assist you because you can only use it on the first time. So these are all things that we'll discuss with you as we talk to you about your case. I do have some caveats though. If you're under 21 and you're before the court for a traffic offense, under 21 drivers can get fewer points and get suspended quicker. So you only need 6 points to get a full suspension of your license. You'll be suspended for 6 months, which is longer than if you were over 21 or over. So please be mindful. Also, a NOLO plea may not assist you in the way that it assists someone who's 21 or over. For those drivers who are under 21, we make it tougher for you because we want you to drive with care, because you have a lot at stake. Now, for people who have CDLs, commercial driver's licenses, if you make your living driving, please be careful about entering a plea of guilty or NOLO, because we cannot tell you how that might affect your commercial driver's license. If you are at all concerned that you may lose your ability to drive or have it suspended in some way or affected negatively, you can enter a plea of not guilty. And while you're preparing for trial, you can also research how a plea or a conviction at trial might affect your CDL. And then once you come to court, if you don't want to go to trial, if you want to enter a plea, you can still do that. But please be mindful that it's harder to undo it if you do it wrong first. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are convicted, if you take a plea and you have fines and fees, I can give you up to 60 days to pay those fines and fees with no explanation. You don't have to tell me why. But I just remind you that if you fail to pay the fines and fees within the 60 days, an arrest warrant could issue for your failure to complete a suspended sentence. Okay. All right. The first case on the 11 o'clock calendar is Mujid Ibn Duan. Mujid Ibn Duan. Hello.
Oh, I'm here.
All right. All right. So, sir, you're before the court for giving a false name, address, or date of birth, seatbelt violation, distracted driving, no license, and improper lane change. Did you wish to have an attorney represent you, or are you representing yourself?
Representing myself.
Are you over 21?
Yes.
Okay. All right. May I have a recommendation for Mr. Dewan?
Yes, Your Honor. Count 1 is going to be count 1, 2, and 3 will be null pros. Count 4 is going to be a $500 fine suspended, and count 1 is a $100 fine.
All right. So, Mr. Dewan, the state would dismiss the first three charges. The fourth charge, which is the most serious one, is a $500 fine, but they're willing to suspend that fine. And if you take a plea to improper lane change, it's a $100 fine. With the surcharges, the total would be $151.50. Sir, did you wish to enter a plea to improper lane change?
No.
Okay. What do you want to do, sir?
Must be some type of mistake because this what?
Because what?
There must be some type of mistake. This wasn't like that.
Okay, I hear some type of mistake, and then after that, your voice goes down, and I can't hear anything else.
Because at the time this happened, now I wasn't this.
You wasn't what?
I wasn't like at the time even the first name and first.
Okay, so Mr. Dewan, come closer to the mic or adjust your mic because I'm missing the last part of everything you say.
It must be some type of mistake because this wasn't, at the time this occurred. It wasn't me.
Okay, so what was the date of the incident, Ms. Payne or Ms. Andrews?
It was September 28, 2021.
Okay, so Mr. Dewan, were you someplace other than Georgia on September 28th of 2021? Where were you, sir? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I just got it.
Okay, can you adjust your mic, like whatever your device is, see if you can adjust the microphone?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I hear you better. Yes, sir.
So yeah,
So you said on September 28th of 2021, you were elsewhere. Where were you?
I believe I was at home.
Okay, so you want to have a trial is what you're saying? Because
No.
do you have some proof that this wasn't you? Did somebody use, do you know of someone using your identity falsely? Tell me what the basis is. Oh, hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Saying it
Okay.
wasn't me.
The what?
Said it wasn't me.
Okay, but how do, like, do you have something that indicates that? Because if somebody's using your ID, generally what the solicitor will do is assign an investigator to find out who's using someone else's ID.
Well, no, I don't.
Uh-huh.
Said no, I have no clue, but
Because whoever was on this case was likely arrested for the false name, address, or date of birth. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. That is correct.
I'm sorry, Ms. Andrews. So we have a picture of whoever it was based on the fact that they would have been arrested on that offense. Ms. Andrews, can we contact the jail and see if we can get, okay, Ms. Van Valen Facey, please mute your device. I have said that about 6 times.
Yes, Your Honor. I can see if my investigator we can get a copy of the mugshot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Dewan, if someone else was using your identity, then we can resolve that pretty quickly because even though a lot of these were traffic offenses that would not have merited an arrest, the giving false name, address, or date of birth generally would. And so if someone was using your identity, that would be pretty easy to ascertain. All right, so just hold on for me and we'll be back with you in a moment. Ashley Celeste Gatlin. Ashley Celeste Gatlin. Last call for Ashley Celeste Gatlin.
Request bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Latifa Caress Hudson. Latifa Caress Hudson. Last call for Latifa Caress Hudson. Anybody heard from Ms. Hudson?
There she is, Judge, at the podium.
Oh, okay. Ms. Hudson, you're charged with following 2 close, driving on a suspended or revoked license, and no license. Did you wish to have someone represent you in this case, or did you wish to represent yourself?
I'll represent myself.
Are you over 21?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. The state having a recommendation for for Ms. Hudson's case?
Yes, Your Honor. Count 1 is going to be a $100 fine. Count 2 will be non-prof, and count 3 is going to be a $500 fine.
Okay. All right. Ms. Hudson, count 1 would be a $100 fine, $151.50 with the surcharges. Count 3 is no license. The statutory fine is $500, $737.50 with the surcharges. And I could give you up to 60 days to pay. If you needed more time, we have a probation option, which allows you to be on probation until you've complete payment. Once you've completed payment, then your probation will terminate. Is she NOLO eligible?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, when I ask if you're NOLO eligible, that means that the no license offense, you're eligible to enter a NOLO plea, and so that won't keep you from getting another license. Am I correct? I'm correct in that, Ms. Andrews, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, because y'all get.
Your Honor, she has a South Carolina license, so I'm not sure how it affects in South Carolina.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you currently have a South Carolina license, Ms. Hudson?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. In Georgia, that's how it works. If you had a Georgia license, it probably is similar, but I'm not sure. And I can't you can't rely on us knowing what's going to happen with your South Carolina life. So did you have some questions? You seem uncertain.
Yeah, I'm a little, sorry. Yes, ma'am. I'm a little confused. Because I was going to plead guilty for the following two clothes, but as far as the suspended license, I have my 10-year driving record and my license wasn't suspended. So it was like, I was gonna try to work that out.
Okay.
And I can actually come speak with her, Your Honor. I'm just reached out to my investigator. I can come down there and speak with her.
I'm glad you got your 10-year life. Look at you. So they're going to have an investigator come speak with you about that. And then if you can show them proof of these things being different than what was reported, then that could get worked out.
Okay.
All right, just have a seat for me. And then once they come speak to you, then you all can make an announcement at that time.
Okay.
Yes.
Good job bringing that information. All right. Renard Jerome Jenkins, just have a seat for me. They're going to come talk to you. Come on up, Mr. Jenkins. So, Mr. Jenkins, you're before the court for no tag or expired or invalid tag and distracted driving. Did you need an attorney to help represent you, or are you representing yourself?
Represent myself.
Are you over 21? Okay. All right. May I have a recommendation for Mr. Jenkins?
Yes, Mr. Jenkins, do you have a valid tag on your current vehicle and a hands-free device?
I don't have that car anymore, but I do have a hand-free device.
What do you have now, sir?
I have a Silverado truck. I have a truck.
I can't hear you. Speak up for me.
I have a truck. I have a truck now.
What kind of truck?
A Silverado 1500.
What year is it?
2010.
So does your phone connect into the truck, Bluetooth?
No.
Okay. Do you have something to sit in your truck that holds your phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the current truck, does it have a current tag?
Yes.
All right. Do you all need him to take a picture of his phone holder and tag?
No, you know, I can actually, if he can give me the tag number, do you know the tag number?
You said the tag number?
Of your current vehicle, that's correct. I can look it up.
Well, I actually got the VIN. I have the VIN number.
All right. What's the VIN number?
3GCRC SEA 7AG.
I'm sorry, 7-8 or A?
7A G 101433.
And what county is it registered in?
I actually stay in Alabama now. It's Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, so it's okay, cool. I'm gonna have to have my investigator look at that, and then I'll reach back out to you and let the court know how we're gonna proceed.
Okay.
All right, so have a seat for me. All right, next on the calendar is Shartavius Laney. Shartavius Laney is on video, I believe.
Yeah, ma'am.
Hi, Mr. Laney.
Hey,
Mr.
how you doing?
Laney, you're charged with speeding fleeing from the police, improper lane change, and no license. Mr. Laney, did you need an attorney to represent you? Some of these charges are pretty serious.
Yeah, ma'am.
All right. How old are you, sir?
25.
All right. Ooh. All right, so I'm gonna appoint the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis to assist you. What I'm gonna ask you to do is you're gonna, Mr. Taylor, if you could send Mr. Laney a chat. Mr. Laney, you're gonna see a box on your phone pop up with a red number in it. When you see that, click on it, and you'll see a box in there. You're gonna respond to Mr. Taylor with your phone number and your address and your full name, okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
Full name, phone number, address.
Yeah, ma'am.
All right, so once you've done that, then you just sit and he's gonna give you a call.
I've sent that chat to Mr. Laney, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Laney, you see something pop up on your screen?
Yes, it said type info right here.
Yes, so click into that and type your response.
Yeah, ma'am.
All right.
In Your Honor, a brief announcement on
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen from the
Yeah.
Tennessee Calendar. We're in not guilty at this time, and
Okay.
we'll have an appointment order for you shortly.
All right, so Mr. Nguyen, you're going to have the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis assist you with your case. I'm going to accept a not guilty plea on your behalf. So please keep in touch with your attorneys. So whether this case gets resolved through a plea or a trial, they're going to need to speak with you back and forth to make sure that of what the recommendation is and whether you're going to resolve it that way. Just be mindful that the types of charges you have, you do not want to pick up additional charges of the same nature. So please be careful. At this time, Mr. Nguyen, you are free to go. Just keep in touch with your attorneys. All right. So
I texted him. I'm sorry. I texted him.
okay, Mr. Laney, hold on just a second. I believe that concludes the 10 o'clock calendar. We've had announcements or pleas on each of those cases, and we'll go over them at the end of the calendar. On the 11 o'clock calendar, Mr. Laney is going to be speaking with Lister, Holt, and Dennis. Travius A. Latimer. Travius Latimer, I see you. Travis Latimer, I'm sorry. Travis Latimer, I see you on video. Please unmute so we can speak to you. This is Lister, Holt, and Dennis.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Latimer. Can you show us your face too, please?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Mr. Taylor or Ms. Hahn?
Thank you, Your Honor. I will need a moment to speak with Mr. Latimer.
All right. So, Mr. Latimer, they're either going to call. Do you need a breakout room, or you going to be able to call him?
Your Honor, a breakout room. I'm having terrible service issues.
Okay. So, Mr. Latimer, we'll put you in a breakout room with the courtroom in a moment. Okay.
Okay, how does that work? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I ain't really familiar with working with Zoom, so that's all.
Okay. I'm gonna walk you through it. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna see something pop up on your screen. If it goes away real quick, just touch your screen and it should come back up. And it'll be an invitation to the breakout room. Click on that and it's gonna put you in the breakout room. But this is the most important because this is where people get lost. Once you're in the breakout room, if you touch your screen, you should be able to come back to the main room. Should be a something that you can click on to come back to the main room. A lot of times that goes away when you're in the breakout room and everybody gets stuck. So just remember, if you want to get out of the breakout room, touch your screen. It should appear again and then click on that button. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so just hold on a second. It's going to be a minute before, let me finish calling the calendar before I can set up the breakout room for you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Latavius DeMonte Perry. Latavius DeMonte Perry. Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry, hi, you're before the court for no tag, expired or invalid tag, and an open container. Did you wish to have an attorney represent you, or did you wish to represent yourself?
No, ma'am, I wish to represent myself.
All right, sir. Are you over 21?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what's the recommendation for Mr. Perry's case for no tag and open container?
If I could, Judge, could I just say one thing real quick?
Okay.
It's
You
not like
wanna-
it's not. No, I'm saying we can go ahead with that. I just wanted to, because I know the registration stuff, but it wasn't my vehicle, so I just wanted to know like how would I go about getting the proof to y'all that people don't have the car anymore?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I literally got picked up and was asked to drive, drove 15 minutes and got pulled over.
Oh, do you have a car currently?
I do, but it's in the shop. I haven't had it. It's been in the shop for about 5-6 weeks now. I'm getting the transmission replaced.
Ooh. Man, been there, done that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Man, I know. Ooh, yeah, let's not go there. I'm getting a flashback. All right.
Your Honor, the state would actually offer to dismiss the tag and plea to the open container, which would just be a $200 fine.
That's fine with me.
Okay. All right. So for the open container, sir, the fine is $200. With the surcharges, it's $298, but I can give you up to 60 days to pay that. I would give you 30 days anyway, because you're not at the courthouse, but I can give you up to 60 days to pay. Did you wish to enter a plea to that?
No law.
All right. So raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Mr. Perry, by entering a plea of nolo, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So factual basis, please.
Yes, Your
Just
Honor.
me?
On or about
Oh,
April
It's for
13th of 2021,
Mm-hmm.
officer was patrolling the area of Highway 138 at Davidson Parkway and noticed the defendant's vehicle with the expired registration. And when he initiated the traffic stop and made contact with the defendant, he did notice that there was an open container of alcohol in the car. And all this occurred in Clayton County.
All right. So sir, the court would sentence you on that on the NOLO to a $200 fine. And give you 60 days in which to pay. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do before we conclude is, so I've seen that you know how to use chat because I saw your chat.
yes, ma'am.
If you would go on the chat function and in the blue box where it says the name, it is probably everyone. Click on that and it should pull down a menu of names. You see
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
So click on Amanda Wright, R-Y-T-E.
The deputy state clerk.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
You're going to send her your email address. Please make sure you check it for accuracy before you send it. And when you send that, she's going to send you back your sentencing sheet and information about how to pay. Now, just make sure you pay it before the 60th day. And if you want to pay online or by phone, you can, there'll be information in the email about that. But otherwise, you can come into the state court building on the second floor and pay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
I sent
Perry.
the email over to her.
All right, thank you so much, and I hope you get that transmission thing worked out, and then make sure they don't mess up.
It's been paid for. I'm just playing the waiting game. You know how folks get stuff. They do stuff on their time.
Yeah, make sure they don't mess up your cooling system too while they putting that back in.
I got you.
Been there, done that.
I know that's right.
Take care, sir. Have a great day.
All right, y'all too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Anthony France Raymond. Anthony?
Yes, ma'am.
There's Mr. Raymond. Mr. Raymond, may I see you, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. There you are. So, Mr. Raymond, you're before the court on a suspended registration, no tag, expired or invalid tag, and no insurance. Did you wish to have an attorney represent you, or do you wish to represent yourself?
I wish to represent myself.
Are you over 21?
I'm 21.
Okay, good. All right. So what is the state's recommendation on Mr. Raymond's case?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would offer to dismiss count 1 and count 3, and count 2 would just be a $100 fine.
All right, so sir, the state is willing to dismiss counts 1 and 3. Count 2 would be a $100 fine, and the $100 fine with the surcharges, the total would be $151.50. And I could give you up to 60 days to pay that if you would.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and it's not a moving violation, so I don't know if you want to use a NOLO, but you might want to save your NOLO. That's up to you.
Could I state that I have proof of registration and valid insurance and
Ms. Payne?
Yeah, proof of the registration. Yes, we ran his tags back in May of this year, and it showed that he had valid insurance. The registration was still expired, so that's why.
Okay, do you have the registration now?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Valid registration.
I'm sorry.
I have valid registration.
Do you have the paperwork?
I have it on my phone. Could I screen share?
Sure.
Okay. And as you can see, that is the VIN number to my current vehicle.
Okay, based on that, the state would move to dismiss this case, Your Honor.
All right, look at you. Hey, you can stop share, Mr. Raymond. Look at you coming to court with your lawyer hat on, getting all your stuff together. Case dismissed, sir.
All right, thank you.
All
Wait,
right.
excuse me. So there's no
yes.
fine?
No, you just showed us proof that you
okay,
got
okay.
everything taken care. Breathe. You
Thank you.
just lawyered your way out of the case.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just saying we need lawyers. So if that's where you think you might want to go. All right, Mr. Raymond.
All right, thank you.
You too. Take care. Shoot, we get Mr. Raymond online. We'll cure some of these lawyer shortages we've been having. All right, Tiara Raquel Riggins. Tiara Raquel Riggins. I think she's in the courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor, she's coming up.
All right, Ms. Riggins, you're charged with 2 violations of the child restraint law. Did you wish to represent yourself, or did you wish to have an attorney represent you?
Represent myself.
Okay, are you over 21?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. What's the state's position on Ms. Riggins' case?
The state would offer is for count 1, it's just a $50 fine, and the state would be moving to dismiss count 2.
All right. So, ma'am, the fine would be $50, $83.25 with the surcharges. And then the other one would be dismissed. Did you wish to do that today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Talk to me about what you want to do and speak up for me.
I can have it paid by next week.
No. Oh, okay. So I can give you up to 30 days to pay. Would that be enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Riggins, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. So you're before the court on 2021 CR 07032, Tiara Raquel Riggins, for child restraint violation counts 1 and 2. Count 1, you're entering a plea. Now you may want to maintain your NOLO for something else, but and enter a guilty, but that's up to you.
I'll enter guilty.
Okay. Now, by entering a plea of guilty, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about March 11th of 2021, a Georgia State Trooper was patrolling Interstate 75 near Terra Boulevard in Clayton County and observed the defendant operating a vehicle with a 9-month-old in a rear-facing car seat facing forward that was not restrained in the car seat, and the car seat wasn't restrained to the vehicle. And she also had a 5-year-old not restrained in a booster seat, only the safety belt. And all this occurred in Clayton County.
Miss Riggins, the most important thing you can do in a car before you ever move that car is to make sure your babies are secure. A car accident that is survivable for anybody would kill kids, especially with your booster seat and your car seat moving around. Imagine you get a car accident at like a modest 20 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour, which is essentially a fender bender. But imagine your child getting thrown out of a car seat and then the car seat hitting your child and then your child hitting the interior of the car. That's three collisions for the baby. We clear?
Yes,
There's no rush you need to get to before you secure your child in that car. Nothing you need to rush to before you make sure your kids are safe. Because you can't go back and fix that.
Right.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to accept your plea. I'll sentence you to pay a fine in the amount of $50. It'll be $83.25 with the surcharges. I'll give you 30 days in which to pay. Right now, I'm going to ask you to go down to the second floor. When you come back through the double doors, go to your left and you'll see the traffic court window. They'll have your paperwork. If you want to pay online or by phone, talk to them about that. Otherwise, you'll come right back to that window to make the payment within 30 days. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions? All right. And if you're ever unsure about how to put your car seat in, or you need some help doing so, because I know some of them are complicated, go to a fire station. And generally the fire station, they're trained to help you, to assist you to get those things in there securely. Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Non-true Truong. Non-true Truong.
It looks like Miss Judy Kim filed a waiver on July 9th.
Oh, okay. Miss Kim is, yeah, because I didn't see counsel. All right. All right. So that case is waived. All right. Jasmine Van Valen Facey. Ms. Van Valen Facey. Unmute for me. There we go. All right, so you're before the court for altering a tag, following too close, and no tag or expired or invalid tag. Did you wish to have an attorney represent you, or did you wish to represent yourself?
Represent myself.
Are you over 21?
Yes, or maybe I should get a public defender.
Okay, none of these are jailable offenses. The only one that carries points is following too close. Did you want to hear from the state first before you make that decision?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Payne.
I have a question. Well, I have something to say too. I think he only put it under there because I had bought the car that same year, and I didn't know that I had to go back up to the registration place after my birthday and get my registration.
Oh yeah, because you can't.
I had to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So that was the thing about the tag being invalid.
Okay.
But I don't have that car anymore either. So
you have a car currently?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Payne?
And yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation would actually be to dismiss counts 1 and count 3. And count 2 would just be a $100 fine with the victim is also requesting restitution. So it would need to be placed for a restitution hearing.
All right. So Ms. Van Valen Facey, the counts 1 and 2, the tag charges would be dismissed. The following too close is $100 fine, $151.50. There's also that the victim in the case is seeking restitution. So what we would do is have a restitution hearing at a later date. If you have paid, okay, who's on the screen asking questions? Because if it's not you that I'm talking to, I need to know who else is asking questions. Unmute.
It's my girlfriend. She's asking a question.
Them girlfriends be, oh my Lord, y'all think y'all lawyers. Oh my gosh.
No. It's not. She's just she's just asking questions.
I'm sorry, Judge. I don't mean to be. I'm just trying to. No, ma'am. I'm not.
Okay, well then go sit down somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Explain it to her. I'm gonna answer every question.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down. Yes, ma'am.
Woo! All right. So as I was explaining.
Yes, ma'am.
So a restitution hearing would take place at a later date. And what that means is the person who was in the accident with you is asking to have their out-of-pocket costs covered. And so even if they had insurance, they may have had a deductible or something like that. They will present evidence of what they're asking for. If you have paid anything or evidence that there was no damage of that magnitude, then you should bring that information to the restitution hearing. And then you would have the opportunity to argue those things and present your information.
Okay.
All right. So if you document anything like from, I know it's a.
Could you tell me when it happened again?
All I know is a following to looks like a rear end case.
Yeah, because it happened like before the pandemic. So
yeah, it was. Can you give me the date, Ms. Payne? That way, when she looks up through her record, she'll be able to pinpoint exactly what was happening around that time, and if there's any record she needs to find.
Yes, Your Honor. This happened on January 4th of 2021.
Okay. So January 4th of 2021, if you've made any payments on this case, if you've covered anything, if you have any pictures that are representative of what you believe happened at the time, then you can bring all of that information with you to the restitution hearing. And even if we have it on video, you can share your screen or show us through the video. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now, is she NOLO eligible?
Give me 1 second, please.
Excuse me.
Yes, Your Honor, she is.
Okay, so you have the option of entering a NOLO plea. A NOLO plea means no contest, but with respect to a following too close, it would help you avoid points on your license. And it's not a guilty plea. It means you're just not contesting the information that the state is presenting.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. So you're before the court on 2021 CR 08033 for altering a tag, following too close, and no tag or expired or invalid tag. Counts 1 and 3 will be no pros per the state. But count 2, you wish to enter a plea of NOLO. By doing so, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So factual basis, Ms. Payne.
Honor, about January 4th of 2021, officers did respond to State Road 138 at the intersection of 353 and made contact with the defendant, who stated that Mr. Hayward Red, unit number 2, came to a sudden stop in front of her, and she was unable to stop in time and collided with Mr. Red. And the officer then spoke with Mr. Red, who stated he came to a stop because the vehicle was making a right turn in front of him into the mobile gas station, and then the defendant rear-ended him from behind. And all this occurred in Clayton County.
All right, so I'm going to accept your plea of nolo to count 2. It's $100 fine. With the surcharges, the total will be $151.50. A restitution hearing will be held at a later date, and we'll just send you notice of the restitution hearing. Now, let me be clear. Did you receive notice of this hearing, or did you have to call in?
I had to call in.
Okay, so the issue is going to be we need to update your address with the clerk's office because we send notice by mail. So what I need you to do is once you finish the hearing today, I need you to contact the state court clerk's office. Now, this is where the girlfriend comes in handy because you need to be taking notes. Tell her to take some notes.
Yes, ma'am.
State court clerk's office, Clayton County. The clerk's name is Tiki, T-I-K-I Brown. So if you look her name up, or state court clerk of Clayton County, when you get the website, they'll give you information about how to contact them, because what you want to do is update your contact information so that when the notice goes out, we'll be able to give you the notice, okay? And you need to do that as soon as possible, okay? So today is good. If you contact them, they'll tell you exactly what they need to update your information on this case. Now, let me write this down. This is the case number. 2021.
Judge, may we write it down with you? One moment.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to give it to you. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're right here. We got the paper and the pen.
Got it. 2021 CR 08033. That's your case number. And then you're looking for the state court of Clayton County. State court clerk. I'm sorry, clerk of Clayton.
And that was Tiki, right?
Tiki, T-I-K-I Brown. If you just Google Tiki Brown, it's gonna come up.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't want to interrupt. I just want to ask if I may ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. I want to be just like you. I'm going to law school next year. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
No problem.
If they let me in, I just, I'm working with these attorneys. I'm just trying to help. That's all.
I was just messing with you.
Okay. I just have a question. Is she able to be, because her, she used to have a second job. Now she only has one. So is she able to yield this fine to community service, or is that not an option?
We could, but it would be 10 hours of community service.
I don't think that would be difficult at all, Judge.
Well, I mean, if she's willing to do it, I don't have a problem with it. Can she do it in 60 to 90 days, or does she need to be put on probation?
Absolutely. I also have a contact for community service, so we can get her right in and right out, get her out of the system.
As long as it's not a church, a school, or a medical facility. So church,
a food pantry would be good.
Okay, so that'll work. Let's see. I think I have to put you on probation just to be able to receive the hours, but it's pay only probation, which means the first 3 months on pay only probation, the fines and fees are, the probation fee is suspended. So get it done within the first 3 months. And then that'll also help with the restitution, because if the restitution amount, once we have the hearing, if there's a restitution amount ordered, then that'll allow you more time to pay it also.
Yes, Judge. Okay. Yes, Judge. Okay.
The restitution amount is dependent upon the person asking for restitution coming to court on that day and presenting evidence, and then allowing you also to present evidence of any payments made or any differences in the amount being requested.
Okay.
Okay. So just to be clear, just so we walk away, making sure we understand. We are going to receive, you said you're going to have to put her on probation in order to do this. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to put her in a breakout room with Ms. James. Ms. James will get her signed up for pay only probation. It'll be 10 hours of community service. And Ms. James will explain all of that. And what she'll have to do is just present the hours. The person who's in charge of the nonprofit will have
Okay.
to sign off and present the hours. And so that's proof of having completed the probation. Within the
Yes.
first 3 months, there's no probation fees, no
Okay.
supervision fees. So if you
So
can
we
get it
just need to
done,
get it done.
yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can
Anything else?
understand that. No, ma'am. I appreciate
Okay.
you speaking with me.
No problem. So your two things are, number one, you need to change your address with the clerk's office.
Right.
And
Ms.
number
Tiki.
two, after you finish speaking with Ms. James, go ahead and knock out that community service. And then if there's any restitution, you'll get notice of the hearing so that we can talk about that.
Okay, and I'm allowed to use my post office box, correct? As
Yeah,
my address.
I don't know. I don't know if they take post office boxes, but when you ask them, they'll explain everything.
Okay.
All right. So let
Okay.
me go ahead and put you in a breakout room with Ms. James. Ms. James is going to explain everything. Ask her any questions that you may have forgotten to ask me. Because she's the expert about probation. I just say ask Ms. James. She knows.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Ms. James is going to be in breakout room number 6. I'm going to put you in breakout room number 6. Good luck with your for your girlfriend. Good luck with law school. We need attorneys. We've had a lot of attorneys decide to do other things after the pandemic, so we need you. Hurry up and get finished.
I appreciate you, those words of encouragement and that affirmation. I'm working on it. I'm telling you, I'm going to have Attorney Maoli Davis walk me right in. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. You know my friend.
Yes, he's my friend. He's been my friend since I was 20. I'm 34. I've been working in his office on and off since then. I knew you would know.
Yeah,
I knew you would know, but I was being patiently waiting. He taught me how to talk, you know.
Tell him and his partner I said hi.
I will tell Attorney Bozeman that you said hello. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your assistance, and thank you for letting me ask my questions.
All right, no problem. All right, so you're going to go into the breakout room with Miss James, and once you're finished, you don't have to come back here. You'll just talk to her.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Valente Vega Arteaga.
Your Honor, just
Yes.
a brief announcement. I spoke to Mr. Laney from the same calendar, and we're entering a not guilty today.
Okay, so Mr. Laney, you're entering a plea of not guilty. Just make sure any information that Mr. Taylor needs from you, please, that he's able to get that information and that you keep in touch with Mr. Taylor, okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Laney, you're free to go at this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you have other announcements, Mr. Taylor or Ms. Hahn?
Ms. Hahn still needs a breakout room with Mr. Latimer.
Okay. All right, so let me just finish the call of the calendar. I think I only have like 3 more people. And then once we do that, then we'll be able to do the rest of the breakout rooms. So Mr. Vega Arteaga, you're before the court for speeding 26 to 30 miles per hour over the limit. Did you need an attorney to assist you?
Yes, ma'am. Man, no.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I said I'm good. I'll represent myself.
Okay, how old are you, Mr. Vega?
I'm 22.
Speak up for me.
I'm 22.
Okay, so you're over the danger limit. You're 21 and over. Ms. Payne, what is the recommendation for Mr. Vega Arteaga?
Well, for this case, it's actually just a $300 fine, but he does have a new case from April 24th of this year.
April 24th?
Yes, of this year.
And what kind of case is that?
There's 5 counts on it. Count 1 is driving without a CDL. Count 2 is following too closely. It was an accident case. Count 3 is a learner license violation. Count 4 is an invalid CDL license, and count 5 is license not on person.
Yeah, I was arrested.
And if you need that case number, I do have it, Judge. It's 24 CR 05669.
Mr. Vega Arteaga, you got 2 cases that are pretty serious. And if you're trying to get or keep a CDL, you need to have some information about that. I'm gonna appoint the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis to assist you with both cases. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because the reason is that first case is simple by itself, but when you add the second case, if you have any hope of driving a commercial vehicle, then you might want to have an attorney or somebody knowledgeable about this case assist you, okay?
Yes, I have the insurance that
Don't tell me anything. Tell the attorneys. So those two attorneys at the table behind you, talk to them, okay?
yes, ma'am.
All right, so have a seat. They're gonna talk to you and then they'll give us advice about what is best to do for you today.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that, Ms. Payne. Latasha Renee Williams. Latasha Renee Williams.
I'm here.
Ms. Williams, you're before the court for a 2021 CR 08651 for suspended registration insurance. That's what it says. And no tag expired or invalid tag. Do you wish to have an attorney represent you or do you wish to represent yourself?
Represent myself.
Are you over 21?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Payne, for Ms. Williams.
Ms. Williams, do you have valid registration now, ma'am?
I no longer have the car. Yeah, I no longer have that car.
Do you have any car?
I have no car at all.
Okay.
Your Honor, I will actually just take her at her word for that, and based on these charges, the state would move to just dismiss.
All right, so Ms. Williams, the case is going to be dismissed. When you get another car, your priority is always going to be to have your license in good order and to get insurance, okay? Because one without the other is going to cause lots of problems, all right?
All right, but I want to just say this before I leave. With the suspension and with the motor vehicle registration, it was valid. It was just because I had switched insurance. I had insurance on the car and the tag wasn't never expired. It was valid because I couldn't never get a decal sticker if it wasn't valid, because you have to have valid insurance and everything. So everything was valid when I did have a car. I would never drive in Clayton County without those yeah.
No, I'm just laughing because you specifically said not I would never drive without, but you were like, I would never drive in Clayton County. I got you, Ms. Williams. Okay, so the case is going to be dismissed. You're good to go. And I wish you well, all right?
All right.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Raymond Lamar Williams. So Mr. Williams is represented by Attorney Rosenblum. I don't see a waiver, but maybe I'm missing something. This was also on a bond forfeiture calendar.
My calendar marks that he filed a waiver on July 19th of this year.
Oh, okay. So he did file a waiver. 7/19. All right. So Mr. Williams' case has been waived. And let's circle back. Ms. Hahn needs to speak with Mr. Latimer.
However, Judge, he has 2 cases, and on his second case, he is not represented by Mr. Rosenblum.
Is this which one is this? I'm sorry.
It's the tag one. Suspended registration and tag.
Oh, I see it. Let's accept the waiver on the first one. Let's see if Mr. Rosenblum is willing to accept this case too, because he may just not have realized he had 2 cases.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to bench warrant him on one when he's got a waiver on the other. And it just might be that Mr. Rosenblum didn't file a waiver on the second one because they didn't know about it.
That's fine. I just wanted to bring it to the court's attention. I
appreciate that. No problem. I appreciate that though, because I probably would have missed that last page. All right. So let's circle back on some things. One, I'm going to put the courtroom in a breakout room with Mr. Latimer. So let's go ahead and do that. So Ms. Hahn.
Actually, Your Honor.
Yes.
Just not to interrupt you, but the state's going to null process Mr. Latimer.
Oh, okay. Ms. Hahn, never mind. The state has come back and they're gonna no pros Mr. Latimer's case. Mr. Latimer, your case is gonna be dismissed, sir, so you're free to go at this time. Thank you, Attorney Andrews.
And also, Mr. Renard Jenkins in the courtroom, the case is gonna be, null pros as well.
I'm sorry, which one?
Renard Jenkins.
Oh, Mr. Jenkins. So Mr. Jenkins, your case is dismissed. Thank you, sir. All right.
Okay, so I'm free to go, right? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
you are. No problem. You are. So let's circle back. So for Dewan Mujahid Ibn Dewan, did we resolve that? And on Hudson, Miss Latifah Hudson, was the investigator able to speak with Miss Hudson?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Ms. Hudson does have a valid South Carolina license, so the state is only going to be proceeding on the following two close.
Okay, so the following two close, Miss Hudson, will get you up here in a moment, and that's $100 fine with that. All right, so cool. And on Dewan, were we able to identify who was driving on September 28th of 2021?
Yes, I do have the mug shot, and it does resemble Mr. I don't want to mispronounce your last name, Dewan.
Mr. Dewan, we have a mug shot that says that you were the person arrested on that date.
It must be some type of mistake.
Okay. Can you show the mug shot on the screen, Attorney Andrews? And what was the name given?
Let me see the email. It was Abdul
is it Abdul Mutabakir Shahid Ali?
Right.
So, Mr. Dewan, you know that person?
Do not.
Well, they posted bond in this case for you.
I mean, it wasn't me, so that's what I'm saying.
So it was Mr. Ali? Mr. Dewan, the case is not just gonna go away because you tell me it wasn't you and I got a picture that looks like you, and then the person who posted bond is the name of the person who posted bond. Tell me what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. That's why I'm here to clear that up today.
Okay, do you know
I do not.
Mutakabir Shahid?
I don't.
You don't know this person at all?
Not at all.
But you are Mujahid Ibn Dewan.
Yes, that's me.
Well, who would post the bond for you? And okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna give it to your office, solicitor Andrews, for y'all to do an investigation.
Yeah, Sean, that's what I was gonna say. Recommend.
And anybody and whoever is responsible, just let me know and I'll issue a bench warrant.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Dewan, we're gonna continue this case at this time for an investigation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Let's continue this to September, Judge.
All right, September 5th, 2024. All righty, so you're free to go at this time. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Hudson, come on up for me.
Judge Jenkins got dismissed, correct?
Yes. And so the only other case we have is Vega Arteaga, who is speaking with Mr. Taylor and Ms. Hahn at this time. All right, Ms. Hudson. So Ms. Hudson, the state has verified your information. And there are no pros in counts 2, driving on a suspended or revoked license, and count 3, no license. So those are the more serious charges. Following too close is $100 fine, $151.50 with the surcharges. Attorney Andrews, is she NOLO eligible?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you're NOLO eligible. If you wish to use your NOLO, it would help you avoid points. But if you feel like you're comfortable in the points department, you can enter a plea of guilty. It is up to you.
Can I call my dad before I go pay it? Because I'm on his insurance, so.
Before you pay it or before you enter a plea?
Oh, I mean, I'm guilty on that.
I got that, but did you wish to enter a NOLO plea, which might actually help your dad if you're on his insurance, because it might help you avoid points on your license that could help increase the insurance?
No.
You want to enter a guilty plea?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you understand you're going to get points on your license?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you understand I can't tell you how many points because I don't do South Carolina law.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down, Ms. Hudson. So Ms. Latifah Caress Hudson, 2021 CR 06020 for count 1, following too close, you're entering a plea of guilty. Counts 2 and 3 will be no pros per the state. By entering this plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You'll have the right to present evidence. You'll give up the right to present evidence and testimony on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, a factual basis for the case.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 29, 2021, an officer responded to a 2-vehicle accident on Riverdale Road at the intersection of Phoenix Boulevard. Upon arriving to the incident location and speaking with both parties, the driver vehicle 1 and driver vehicle 2, it was found that Ms. Latifah Hudson rear-ended another vehicle. She was cited for following too close and driving without a valid driver's license. And the recommendation for count 1 is going to be a $100 fine. Count 2 and 3 will be no profit.
All right. So Ms. Hudson, you can pay the fine today if you wish, or you could pay online or by phone or come back in within the next 30 days. Did you wish to have additional time, or did you wish to pay today?
I'll pay today.
All right. So what you're going to do when you leave the courtroom, you're going to go down 1 floor, come back through the double doors and go to your left. When you go to your left, you're going to see the traffic court window. They'll pull up your information by your last name and they'll take your payment and give you paperwork. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Hudson, what part of South Carolina?
Columbia.
Okay. All right. Got some cousins there. All righty. Be safe getting home.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. 2nd floor. All right. So just waiting on the announcement for Vega Antiaga.
Your Honor, Mr.
Yes.
would like to enter a plea on the current case from the calendar, the 2021 CR 07986.
Yes, the speeding.
I've got the other case that Ms. Payne mentioned. We will submit an appointment order so that we can represent him on that, but we don't anticipate closing that out today because we need to.
All right. So we'll do a not guilty on the second case, 2024 CR 05669. But Mr. Vega Arteaga is going to enter a plea today on 2021 CR 07986 for speeding. Mr. Arteaga, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. So you're before the court on 2021 CR 07986 for speeding 26 to 30 over. Mr. Taylor, what does your client plead to the offense before the court?
He's pleading no, Your Honor.
All right, by entering a plea of nolo, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Your Honor, before I give the factual basis, I just want to let the court know that Mr. Vega is not NOLO eligible. He pled NOLO on May 17th of last year to speeding 85 and a 70.
All right, Mr. Taylor.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Due to the new information, we wish to change our plea to not guilty at this time.
All right, so not guilty on both. All right, so Mr. Vega Arteaga, please keep in touch with your attorneys and make sure that you provide them with any information necessary to assist with your defense. All right. And is there any other outstanding case for the 11 o'clock calendar? Don't believe so. All right, we will be back at 1 p.m. for the 1 p.m. calendar.
What happened with Bullock, Judge Benjamin?
Oh, good job. Something happened. Give me a minute. We did something on Bullock. Oh, it was a not guilty plea, ma'am.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? All right. We will see you all at 1. Thank you so much.